Today I have a new guest. His name is Mr. Isam Bachiri. He is a singer, songwriter, and I Googled him. He has some works and he did online and which kind of influenced me. That's why I asked you for an interview. But before we continue, maybe you could introduce yourself, one to sentences before I start with the questions.
Well, you already said it. So, alhamdulillah, my name is Isam Bachiri, and yes, I'm a singer-songwriter and an artist. And um, 2 years ago, I wrote a biography with a friend of mine, journalist by the name of Tariq Omar, and it was yeah, it's the story of my life with having my father's story in there as well, and interviewing him as well. That was the whole purpose of doing that project. And so that's always been what's been driving me in the arts field, and always felt that's documenting identity is key, and that's where the whole engine starts. So I'm looking forward to talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, my first question is, how was your childhood?
Yeah, my childhood was alhamdulillah. My name is Isam, and Isam means the safeguarded, and so I always been surrounded by people who's been guarding me, my mother, my sister, my father. Um, so in a way it's been very safe, very, happy childhood. I always been a um how do you say an introvert as a child, and also as now, I guess. So it's always been part of my character. Um, so born and raised in Copenhagen, Denmark, and 77. Um, and with Moroccan background, every summer we would go to Morocco uh, and stay there for the whole month. And we drive through Europe. I know a lot of Germans do that as well because I've seen the cars, so I know. Um, yeah, so I have really, some happy uh, child memories. And growing up as a Muslim in Denmark is also always felt um, I have, great memories, celebrating Ramadan here. Um, in our mosques here, and but what I also been debating lately, and just sharing from my memoirs, is the fact that I've been celebrating Ramadan here all my life, but it's always been only with the minority, the Muslim community, and never with the neighbors and the white people, or um, yeah, just outside of that field. And that's something that I've been reflecting a lot about. What's the reason for that? My parents have been living here now for more than 50 years. And as a community, we haven't really stepped out of, I usually say like the basement, or, where the mosque usually is, or in the factory, um, where the factories usually are, the industry areas, that's at least here in Copenhagen, or in Denmark. That's how it is. There's some finance into that as well. Why are we out there in the outskirts? But that's my memories, and they're really, happy memories. It's not like I'm a victim or anything. I don't victimize my upbringing or anything like that. But I think it's worth reflecting on. why it was, why our parents kept it out there and not, why would you celebrate um, down in the basement or out there in the outskirts instead of in the square? And I think that opens it up for some interesting topics that we need to address as a community, as a nation, talk about who we are today and why it's what's the next step. And I recently this Ramadan, alhamdulillah, we did this Ramadan lights in Copenhagen, and it was the first time in Danish history. And we put this Ramadan lights out in the square in my part of Copenhagen, and it was a beautiful thing, beautiful gathering of lots of different people, Muslims, non-Muslims, and yeah, alhamdulillah, we had a beautiful moment there, basically just acknowledging it's Ramadan on the first of Ramadan. And so I connect that to my childhood as well. That's and because on the lights it said Ramadan Mubarak in Danish, which is Glædelig Ramadan. Because a lot of people don't know, who are not Muslim, they don't know that it's Ramadan, and two, they don't know what to say, how to greet you, you know. So, so Alhamdulillah. Next question.
The questions are very direct. So I'm going to talk very little, not so much as you. What I will talk about or ask, or I will only ask you, the episode is only for you. So the next question is, how was your relationship with your parents?
Yeah, my relationship with my parents, writing this biography, it definitely opened up um, some rooms in the heart that I've haven't really thought that much about. And one of them was that I really missed my father when I was, um, as a child. I think he was, he was working three jobs basically, and just was very busy man. And my mother felt that way as well. Like, she missed her husband, and I missed my father, and so definitely something there that is, you know, um, that subhanallah to this day still solving and still just communicating with my father, and alhamdulillah is, we uh we on a good page, and we have a good relationship today. But it's it's yeah, it's always one day at a time, I guess. And my mother, I've always connected more with my mother. I'm definitely a mama's boy more than yeah, definitely more a mama's boy. And she's been yeah, yeah, an amazing woman, who's we didn't I didn't go I didn't we didn't get how do you say day we didn't go to daycare centers, anything. We were at home with my mother, and so she would like school us and teach us a lot of things and take care of us, and she, the first school basically. um but it's it's always a complex question when you ask about parents. Yani, but
It
alhamdulillah,
is.
I have a good relationship with my parents. I love them very much, and yeah, I think, like I said, writing this book definitely changed something in me. It did awake something about the relationships to the people that you have closest to you, that's been around you the your whole life. And it hurt, and it was definitely something that it was hard for me to speak about. It was, and then to this day actually it's still tough to talk about. But yeah, again, I mean, it speaks to the narrative of the guest workers who came in the 60s. You know, it was the men who came, and the mothers came later, the wives came later, and so that whole narrative is, I'm very interested in history, and I wanna dig deeper actually, and know the story while they're here. I still, alhamdulillah, have my parents. My father's 77, turning 78 in July, and so they have so many stories, and I feel like a lot of it hasn't been documented. It's not in the museums. Very, very few, very boring and square-minded narrative you will find in our history books about that generation. And
That's true.
I don't know about Germany. I think Germany has actually acknowledged their work more. I think the late or the former chancellor in Germany, she actually gave them some sort of acknowledgement or price or tribute to the guest workers, and I think that is needed, because they help build the Europe,
Mm,
and
that's true. After World
yeah,
War.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Like I have friends who are in the third generation. And I'm the
wow.
second. Yes, it's a lot. My father grew up here as a young man, so totally understand this. Um, I'm going to jump to the third question. How's your relationship with money?
Yeah, I don't have a good relationship with money. Not in that sense that I spend a lot of money, but I'm not that organized. I'm not into money, to be honest with you. Um, um, so it's almost as if money doesn't exist, but obviously that's not right. That's not true. They do, and so uh, you know, I'm definitely not an accountant. Um, um, but I would wish that I was more structured and organized when it comes to money. Definitely.
Okay, honest answer. Very honest. What are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of? Um, wow. Okay. What am I afraid of? Um, I definitely have deep respect for the ocean. I'm not a big swimmer. Um, I've just recently learned to swim. I almost drowned when I was a kid. Um, I had this, experience. I think I was 6 years old, and we were traveling from Denmark to Morocco, um, 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 going through, all the European countries, and we had to take the ferry and cross the Mediterranean Sea, and I think we were a day ahead or something, but we had some time to go to the beach, and subhanallah, I just remember like I fell down in a like some sort of a hole or something, uh, and I don't know if you ever been to Morocco or the Mediterranean Sea, but the beaches there are crazy. I mean, and I almost drowned, and alhamdulillah, my uncle he saved me, and you know, to this day, I actually don't know if how dramatic it was, because it's something that I do remember this very clearly. But when I ask my family, none of them actually remembers it, so it's really weird. But from that day, subhanallah, I've just had a very deep respect for the ocean, and yeah, I'd say if I'm afraid of something, it's definitely that.
The opposite question. If you were not afraid of anything, what would you do?
If I wasn't afraid of anything, what would I do? Yes, it's I think one thing that is important, and just as a believer, I think it's because it's in the Shahada. You shouldn't fear anything but Allah, basically, and um, it's a really healthy reminder because sometimes we tend to be afraid of dunya or dunyawi um, reasons or um, connections or yeah, whatever there is out there. And it can be even to speak up on matters that are injustices or share your experiences. As a human being, share your thoughts, share your feelings, share your opinions, and just lately, like past 6 months, maybe 7, 8 months, I've been out there in the media just sharing my thoughts and experiences, and I've had because I think like being a Muslim in Europe, I'm a European Muslim, going, having gone through all the, since post 9/11, the cartoon crisis, um, the whole terrorist narrative, the demonization, the dehumanization, it does something to you. It definitely does something to you. But I just realized like that definitely that can scare you, and it makes perfect sense. But on the other hand, I definitely think it's Shaitan doing his job, and where we have to be firm and strong in our beliefs and address whatever is out there that is, an injustice, and dare to speak up. I think that's really important, and especially in these times, whether it's domestic or um, like what's going on in Palestine or so yeah. I hope it made sense.
It makes sense. How important is storytelling in your songwriting process?
I think storytelling is really important. Like I said to begin with, it's all about documentation. So stories are proof of your existence, and it's also a way of shedding spotlight on issues that matters to you. It may be important, or it may not be important, but or maybe it's just important to you. And sharing these stories and becoming part of people's lives uh, in that sense, it's it's an amazing thing. It's a powerful tool, and yeah, it's historic in a way because it's all about feelings. Songs are just it's all about feelings. Like if I asked you about do you remember where you were when you first time you heard Aisha? You
First time
know?
when I heard Aisha,
Yeah.
alayhi salam, the wife of the Prophet.
No, the song.
The song, Aisha, the song. Isn't this like Tunisian or something? From a Tunisian song
Yeah, yeah. But
singer?
when you heard yes, but when you heard the first song that, our rendition of it, the outlandish version of it. Do you
No,
remember
I
that?
don't know it. I don't know it. I just know the Arabic as a kid.
You know the original. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I know the
Okay,
original one.
okay, okay, great. So
Although I'm not
But
an Arab, we're Kurdish. I just my mother showed it to me. Like we grew up with the Kurdish language.
okay,
Oh.
okay, okay. So you're from that generation. You're from a younger generation. Fair enough. Um, so, but basically, my point is that songs, um, songs are all about feelings, you know, and it's almost like a photo album, you know, and becoming pe part of people's soundtracks, you know, life soundtracks.
That's true.
It's obviously a huge honor, and yeah, so it's very important, and I think you know whatever talent you might have out there, you know, you have a platform to share your story. You should definitely do it.
Hmm. Um, I know like which like the songs of when I was a kid, the songs of Sami Yusuf was very got very famous.
Mm.
Sami Yusuf, that was like the hit in Europe, I think. The first Islamic hit to be
Oh yeah,
international. Very like and I do remember when I was in as a kid that it was a trend to listen to his songs and it was Islamic. So it was for us a pride for us Muslims as kids. It was beautiful. Uh,
yeah, mashallah.
it is that what I said is combined actually to the next question. How can art, songs can improve the image of the religion Islam in the media?
Yeah, I think you know we counter the narrative that is given in the Western media and or in Hollywood, you know, we um, and that needs an opposition, you know, and I think part of that is definitely the songs and um, whatever art, whatever type of art form that is out there done by Muslims. Um, that's how to counter that whole narrative that's been going on for 100 years, you know, especially with, you know, Hollywood and just media post 9/11. And as an artist, I feel in a way very blessed to been around, uh, you know, post 9/11 because that's when we had our first breakthrough with Aisha uh, in 2003, you know. And I just remember it. It was an important song because it wasn't just a hit song. It was also, you know, it was a spiritual song. It was a song that spoke to a lot of people's hearts about hope uh, and hope for the world, basically. Just that, you know, because there was a lot of wars going on after that, Afghanistan um, and the Gulf Wars after, before that. So you know, and a lot of people were against the wars, you know, against the whole way of U.S. policy, you know, the action they took, how many people they killed, and so the song you know, was speaking into um, you know, all these things that was going on, and especially the video as well. The video, because it was so different, it had the um, showed this variety and diverse, um, uh, you know, people, actors, and one thing that was very important for me was to show just Muslims being ordinary people. You know, how many times do you see that in a Hollywood production?
There
You know,
were.
it's very rare. very, you know. So yeah, alhamdulillah, it's I think it's very, very important that we especially us Muslims that are born here in the West, that we speak up and not just thinking about, our jobs and our education. And that's important as well, because that's livelihood, it's our families, it's but we also have a role to play in the way we are being portrayed, and we can we can take action and own the narrative. We can change the narrative, and we do that by taking ownership. And if you're a good writer, you should write to the different newspapers. You know, if you're a filmmaker, you should do some movies. If you're singer songwriter, you should sing some songs about your life. About what's going on. And you shouldn't be um how do you say embarrassed. You shouldn't be embarrassed by it, just because, again, I mean, like, just because you don't see Muslims being portrayed as ordinary people, it's just, we need to change that. You know, that's how we're going to change it, inshallah. And I think it's happening. It's happening slowly, slowly. Alhamdulillah. I see you know, there's different brothers and sisters. They're doing their thing. They're doing marvelous things. So writers, actors, movie directors, singers, you know, it's happening.
If money is guaranteed for life, for you and your family and your generation after you, but the condition is you have to choose a job, what would it be?
I have to choose a job.
Money is guaranteed for life. You
Wow.
only have to choose a job.
Oh, I have to choose a job. But money is guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, what kind of question is that? It was so it really don't matter what it is you're doing, because the money is guaranteed. I, I would, something. I think something with purpose, obviously. Um, that would be more. That would be most important thing. Um, yeah, something about. Um, that's a good question, but let's get back to that. But maybe definitely something with purpose, something that
I didn't expect
that.
this. I thought you would say I would continue with my job right now, what I'm doing.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to go. Yes, I definitely, because that is it's purposeful, definitely. Um, and it'll definitely make life easier, because arts and money, uh, it just doesn't go hand in hand. But there's certain things, they say sex sells, or um, so being this, trying to be yourself in this industry is yeah. So that's definitely that's a challenge, to find your own way and do it your own way. But yeah, but definitely, I mean, yeah, something purposeful, and I wouldn't mind doing what I'm doing right now. SubhanAllah, you got me there. I'm not. That's yeah. I have to think some more about that question. Next question, please, below.
Mr. Bashiri in one word.
Mr. Bashiri in one word. No. Oh, Mr. Bashiri in one word. Oh, um, I'll say honest. I feel that's, that's where I find my inspiration. That's how I, both input and output, whatever comes out when I speak, when I sing. It's just, it's just me. And from and as long as that honesty is there, it drives me, it inspires me, and it challenges me. So yeah, I would say um, blatantly honest and just yeah.
All right. I would take
Hmm?
this. I would take
Hmm?
it. If you have your own heart in your hands, what would you advise it?
Say that again.
If you have your own heart in your hands,
No.
what would you advise it?
Hmm. Um, if I have my own heart in my hands, what would I advise it? Okay. What would my advice be to it? Um, well, that would be a combination of, always stay true to yourself, but more importantly, always have tawakkul, always put your trust in Allah, always put your trust in God, first and foremost. And yeah, and then, staying true to yourself, know when to say no and know when to say yes. That gut feeling and um that's the path. Mm.
Next question. What's the best moment in your life?
You have all the good questions, mashallah. What's the best moment in my life? The best moment in my life. La ilaha illallah, the best moment in my life. Ya Allah. Oh, it's the best moment in my life. It's such a black and white question. You know, I don't believe in the best moment in my life. In life, I mean, it's too, it's not how, it's not how God made the world. It's everything happens gradually. But it's but obviously there's been moments where you had I think the best moments are it's so subtle and so simple. And most of the times it's when you sit with the ones that you love and who are close to you and you just enjoy that moment. And it doesn't even have to be on Eid or on a special day or whatever. It's just an ordinary every day, and you just get that feeling like, wow, this is truly beautiful, and I'm actually truly blessed just to be surrounded by these people. My wife, my kids, my parents, my brothers and sisters, and yeah, you just get that moment that or perspective that this is not everyone has this, and it's a blessing. So
I will take it.
I, I hope that was yeah.
Next question. Any
Mm.
regrets?
Any regrets? Oh, la ilaha illallah. Any regrets? Of course, there's regrets. Um, but um, but then again, um, I truly believe that life is you live and you learn, and there's in the process that's where the wisdom that's where you find the wisdom, so you got to learn through the ups and downs and even the regrets. Um, um, but um, like just an episode in my life that I regretted. Oh, that's tough. I think that's tough. It's a tough one. Um, um, I don't, I don't see life that way. I don't hold many, regrets in that sense. Of course, there's got to be something, but I believe that things happen for a reason, and even when we get challenged in life and we meet something that is bigger than us, and it can be getting sick or um, some sort of challenge in any way. I believe that um, there is the bigger perspective, and we have to have uh, putting your trust in Allah, and in that way, just having the patience and see this storm go through, and then wait for getting to the other side. But yeah, I don't feel. I mean, through my musical career, I've said no to feature or collaborate with different artists that has become huge, stars, and but I don't regret it. It was like because I know why I said no. It's like I know where I stand, I know what I represent, I know who I am, and yes, I would probably have made some more money, but I would also have had some sleepless nights, and I truly believe as an artist that you have to take care of yourself and what drives you, and nurture it, and not misuse that. So regrets. La ilaha illallah. Next question, please. That's easy. You have these really good questions, mashallah.
The last question.
Last question.
What makes you you?
What makes me me? Wow, man, yeah, you know who you should have interviewed my wife. These questions, she would have answered them very easily. Yani, you're asking
She
me
also a
about what
singer?
makes me me.
Is she also a writer or an artist?
Sorry?
Is she also a singer?
La. No, 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 no. My wife is her name is Aisha, but and she's Palestinian, but no, she's a teacher, and she's not definitely not a singer. Definitely. Let me get this. Okay, so what makes me me? Wow. I'll tell you what makes me me. My voice. Um, and I never really thought about this, but when I speak to people, or they actually recognize me from my voice, uh, more than from, you know, uh, my appearance or my look. Uh, it's really weird. I mean, but it's one thing that I've um that I've heard a lot is people, because there's so many songs out there. And one thing people always say is like some um it's it's how your voice, it's just your voice. Voice is different, and you don't sound like uh anyone else. Allahu Akbar, and when you hear that, you're like, um but there is a that's one thing that I've that if I would say something about me, that I have that I don't even know what it is. It's just Hassan. It's Hassan Bashiri. And um I just know that my voice has a very, very powerful um recipe to make kids and babies sleep. And that is very powerful to have that. So Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I might do a like how do you say a lullaby album, inshallah, in the future.
Inshallah. It's just um the reason why I started with this podcast is because of my voice too. In
MashaAllah.
school or in the uni, they always distinguish my voice regarding the others because they said my voice is kind of deep. So I said maybe I could moderate and ask people questions.
Oh,
It
oh
just
wow.
with that voice, I don't know, something. But we ended. We're at the end. I
Alhamdulillah,
finished
Alhamdulillah.
the questions. If you have,
Well, we all have unique voices, and
it's true.
it's all a matter of finding, the way to use that as a platform to reach out and, use it for something that is beneficial, something that is purposeful. And so yeah, I love the idea with the podcast and these uh deep questions. And inshallah, may Allah give you more success and more inspiration to spread light and inspire others.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Bismillah. Afwan.
We ended. If you want to say something else, go ahead. If not, then we're done.
Well, just thank you so much for the opportunity to um, yeah, to answer these questions. And again, keep up the good work. And like I've talked about within some of the questions, the importance of us as, German Muslims or Danish Muslims or, whatever European Muslims, that we also reach out to, the community, not only you know, not only the Muslims, but also the non-Muslims, and you know, um, hear about their views on how they know us. Um, I think it's very interesting. Very interesting to get to know their experience as well. I don't know. Do you only interview Muslims, or do you have
Yeah,
non-Muslims as well?
non-Muslims as well.
No, okay,
I am
mashallah.
kind of open. I started with Muslims and then I changed my mind because the
Yeah,
questions are very open to Muslims and non-Muslims.
yeah, I think that's very important. I think that's very important. Also, just to again get out of that basement and get out of those you know, masajid in the outskirts, and just get to talk to people and know people, and share that mutual narrative that we have in common, because we live next to each other, but also just get to know, like you said, what makes you afraid, and because yeah, I think it's needed. It's more than ever, and now with what's going on in Gaza, the tragedy. The beautiful thing about it is that it has put a lot of people are coming together, and across, religions and classes and colors, and and talking to each other and inspiring each other. So Alhamdulillah, I pray and I hope that it'll land a place where we are better off than we were before, inshallah. So,
Inshallah. All
mm.
right. Thank you.
Afwan, 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 wa alaikum salam. Thank you so much.